One of the topics discussed online is e-discovery process a leaky pipe? That's what I want to talk about today. Let's do some theories about is it or is it not? So why would some people consider e-discovery process to be equivalent of a leaky pipe? Well, one of the reasons is because how many hands touch your data. It's actually pretty crazy, from forensic people to project managers to technical people, analysts, all kinds of people handle your data. And then if you're in a law firm, right, sometimes data goes out to a vendor that comes back. If a company is working with a software vendor and troubleshooting different problems, they might be touching your data. So there are a lot of hands that get to touch your data and get to see what you actually have. Another reason to think that e-discovery process is a leaky pipe is because different companies have different security standards, where some people will share data more easily than others. So for example, if you're working with a software vendor and you're trying to troubleshoot a problem with the file, this file doesn't open, the text doesn't get extracted, but the file is fine, right? You may call up a company and say, hey, how come your software isn't doing anything it's supposed to be doing for these files that are fine? Well, the first thing the other company is going to do is they're going to say, well, I don't know, send us the files and we'll take a look. Right? So different companies have different policies when they can share data, or when they can do a screen share with somebody, or some companies will not show anything at all. Some companies will say, oh, if we have NDA signed with this software vendor, good enough, send them everything. And the other companies will say, oh no, we need to get a specific permission for this piece of data signed off by a client before we're going to send it to software vendor. So everyone's got a different process as to how they secure your data and how they closely monitor disclosure of the data for various reasons. And then in addition to data disclosure practices that we just talked about, there's also just security in general, right? Different companies implement different types of security. So, for example, some companies have internet access on their processing stations, others do not. Some follow, different best practices in the industry. They install Windows updates right away as soon as they come out. Others may have some kind of delay, or they may have other procedure for it. They may have scheduled maintenance and stuff like that. So there is a different amount of internal security and internal policies that people apply. And because of that, well, security varies from company to company. Now, all those considerations aside, here is one of the biggest reasons why I think data tends to leak out of the pipe, sort of say, and that's pressure. Right? We're all under pressure to get things done, and it needs to be done quickly. And when you put pressure on an employee to get something done, they will treat that as absolutely highest priority, and they'll prioritize that over any kind of best practices on disclosure or security or anything like that. If someone feels like their job is in jeopardy if they don't get this done, they will sacrifice other things just to get it done, right? Well, they may get fired if they don't follow all these security practices, right? That's one train of thought. But if they know they're probably going to get fired if they don't get the job done, or they're going to get reprimanded, well, they're going to put that as a first priority, make sure we get the job done. And then maybe no one's going to find out that I sent files somewhere or I did something, right? So when you put somebody in the position, you got to get that done, they'll be much more inclined to share this data with maybe a vendor or somebody else, where NDA may not be signed, or there may not be like all the proper paperwork filled out, or maybe they aren't even 100% sure they know who's helping them, right? So if you put pressure on the person to get the job done, they will tend to leak data more likely than if they feel safe about their job and they know they have to follow all the proper procedures. So with all these things in mind, it does seem like e-discovery process is a leaky pipe. There's so many places for data to come out. So what saves it all? Why doesn't this data actually leak and go anywhere, and we don't have all these problems of people, sending data to different places? Well, it's because your data is boring. No one cares about your data. Your PSTs, your eDocs, you may think like, oh my God, this is so precious, this is so, important. It is so secret. When vendors or tech people get their hands on their data, they don't care about it. To them, it's just another PST. It's just another folder of edocs. Just process, edit, click, go, next. We don't read those messages. We don't care. We don't even know what the case is about. In fact, at this point, we're kind of gave up caring what it's about. Sure, there are times when maybe the name of the matter is like a famous case that's in news, and people will be like, oh, interesting. Maybe somebody will poke around. But even then, we have so much volume of data that it's all just junk, right? It's all like office communication, somebody writing to somebody. There is absolutely nothing interesting for anybody to see. It is literally boring. And in my opinion, that's what makes ediscovery process not a leaky pipe, because no one cares about that data. So let me know if you agree with my assessment. Is ediscovery data super boring and no one actually cares about it? Put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on another video.